what your diagnosis is, no matter what your business is, no matter what you have going on in your life, you want to make sure you're working with your brain, not against it, and at the same time, challenging it. Hey there, I'm Esther Rappaport, and I help ADHD entrepreneurs optimize their brain so running their business is a whole lot easier. I think we have this little switch that comes with us as we start going from a kid to an adult. As a kid, we are constantly learning things and we're constantly set up in environments where we're learning and we're working based on the skills we already have. And then as soon as we get to an adult, it's like either we have this skill or we don't have this skill. Let me give you an example. A kid, let's say you want to teach a kid to follow two-step directions, but right now they're only following one-step directions. So right now, you want to help them build that skill of being able to follow two-step directions, of being able to follow two things to do at one time. So what do? The first day that you introduce this skill, you tell them two things at the same time, right? Go hang up your coat and wash your hands, let's say. Instead of previously you would have just said going up your coat, and then once that was hung up, you say go wash your hands. Now you tell them, right? Go hang up your coat, go wash your hands. And they may hang up their coat and get confused and not sure what to do. So what do? You repeat it, or you show them what to do, or you work together with where they are. And then the next day you do it again, and the next day you do it again. And eventually you only have to say, go hang up your coat and wash your hands, and they do it automatically. That's it. They just do it by themselves. Same thing, just same way they're able to follow a one-step direction. They can now follow a two-step direction. And then as soon as they're really good at that, and there's no issues with that, you build up and you go on to three-step direction. Problem is with adults, we tend to just do either they know two-step directions or they don't know two-step directions. Either they know how to solve these type of problems or they don't know how to solve these problems. Either they're good at marketing or they're not good at marketing. Either they're good at sales or they can't speak to any of my customers because they're just going to ruin sales. Well, we have to approach it this same way. You have to work with your brain. Don't force yourself or the people around you to be doing something that your brain is not capable of. Just like you don't get mad at this 2-year-old for not being able to follow step direction because he doesn't have that skill yet. Don't get mad at yourself for not being able to close these sales yet if you're not good at these types of sales yet, right? You want to work with your brain. And then at the same time, you don't want to say, oh, I'm just like not good at these sales. I'm never going to be able to do it. You want to teach your brain, you want to challenge your brain and take it to the next level. So that way, yes, it can do these types of sales. So that way, yes, it can take the business to the next level. That way, yes, it can develop these sort of communication skills. So understand where you are and work with your brain to help you be able to get there. Now, I know I use the example of very specific skills, but sometimes it doesn't always look like skills. It just looks like, oh, this is how my brain does it, or I just can't do it. Once again, work with your brain and challenge your brain. So, for example, if you are, let's say, going through a spreadsheet together with an employee and you both approach the spreadsheet one way and they approach the spreadsheet another way, and then there's a little bit of tension of like, how are we going to approach this, right? Then you want to make sure you are working with your brain. You want to find something that works for both of you. And then at the same time, you want to be able to challenge yourself to be able to do it in the other way. You want to challenge your brain at the same time, right? Or like we spoke about previously, like being able to see big picture, being able to see details. Most people are really good at one or the other. Either they're really good at seeing big picture or they're really good at seeing details. So 100%, you want to work with your brain. If you are really good at seeing big pictures, set up your systems and set up the work that you're doing and everything else to be focused on the big picture. That is working with your brain. But as you also want to challenge yourself and you also want to train your brain to be able to develop the skill. Yes, it's actually a skill of being able to see the small details. So although it may not look like a skill, most of these things are a skill, and that means you can learn it. So make sure you work with your brain and challenge it at the same time. I want you to comment below how you are going to work with your brain and how you're going to challenge it so that way you can take it to the next level. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below, and I will be happy to answer them for you. Here's the peak brain performance.